A video about Titan Cameraman, and I made it. Today we're going to talk about all the Titan improvements. How will the upgraded core help defeat the Skibidi toilets? What improvement will the Titan get instead of a cannon? What connects Titan Cameraman to Plungerman and Camerawoman? We'll also talk about everything we missed in episode 55. Watch the video to the end. It's going to be interesting. Let's go. Let's go back to analyze the new episode and pay attention to the details. First of all, I didn't see Dafuk standing on the balcony watching the cameramen. He appears very often when Plungerman is there. I think I'll make a special video about him. Also, many people have noticed that the big cameramen are also equipped with guns, although they had stun batons before. This again suggests that the cameramen are going to destroy the Parasite and free Titan Speakermen. We're getting closer and closer to that. Now, what about the location of episode 55? Some of you have suggested it's near the 47th episode location. That's where the infected Titan lured Cinema Man. Perhaps there is a secret Skibidi toilet base somewhere in this desert. If that's the case, we'll see G-Man Toilet and the infected Titan Speakerman again very soon. Also, what about the brown cameraman? This is not the same simp cameraman from episode 54, as they are different locations and the color of their pants is different. Note that the simp cameraman has a yellow tie, and I think Dafuk will focus on this in the new episodes. Now about the radioactive Skibidi skeleton. Many of you wrote in the comments that this is one of the burned Skibidi of episode 50 or 51. Let's break it down. Note that this is a gray toilet, and his skull is much smaller compared to the toilet. The skull of the new radioactive Skibidi is much larger. Now let's compare it to the fire-breathing toilet from episode 50. Notice that these toilets are different in shape and color. Radioactive Skibidi has a rusty toilet. Also, the fire-breathing toilet's eye protection didn't have spikes, and it had no jaw prosthetics at all. It had wheels, while the radioactive toilet can teleport. Yeah, I could assume that this fried Skibidi was the one the scientists transplanted into the new rusty toilet, added barrels of acid and changed the eye protection and then trained to teleport. But that sounds stupid. It's probably a new toilet. Yeah, it's the same technology for spitting liquid out of his mouth. Only now, instead of fuel, it spits acid. But everything else is different. If I were a cameraman scientist, I'd make an acid suit for the Plunger Man. He could plant explosives on the barrels of such toilets to blow them up from a distance when there are no vehicles or soldiers around. In fact, acid is a very powerful invention of the Skibidi toilets, and the cameramen would have a hard time countering it. Okay, now it's time to talk about Titan Cameraman. As we remember, he appeared in episode 18 for the first time. I compared the old version of Titan with the new improved version, and found many changes. The most obvious is that Titan now has a hammer and cannon, but did you notice that the jetpack is also much more powerful? I think this is due to the fact that the Titan can now fly horizontally like an airplane. For this, he has retractable wings and an iron fin on his head for better maneuverability. These details above are added for the same purpose. Note the cannons behind the back. Have you ever asked yourself why they look up instead of forward? Yes, we've seen that they can go down and fire at different angles, but they always look up. In fact, the Titan Cameraman was made like a real combat plane. The cannons look up because when it's flying horizontally, you need them to attack targets in front of him. We've never seen it in action, but perhaps that's how he'll break into battle with the G-Toilet. As I've noticed before, he had flashes on his head. They've been removed in the new version. They are generally useless and interfere with aerodynamics. The Titan's coat has become much longer. I think this is also because of the flight, but even with a long cape, Giant looks much cooler. I think many people noticed, but the cannon on the Titan's arm can rotate. This is so that he can easily grab enemies with his hand and hit them. In episode 23, we can see the mechanism that allows the cannon to attach to his arm. But in episode 55, we see that there's nothing on the arm. I noticed how easily he detached the gun from his arm, and it's weird. Remember the writing on the cannon from episode 51? Now I have a rough idea of what it's talking about. The cannon have a reversal function. Most likely, the scientists set up a reminder to turn off the laser before removing the cannon. After all, when it's turned around, it's aimed directly at Titan, and it shouldn't be fired at him. Maybe it means something else. But in any case, this cannon is gone, so I don't see the point of exploring it in detail. But we can guess what weapon will replace the laser cannon on Titan's arm. I think it will be a big gun with a blue paralyzing beam, which was on the tank. What do you think? Write in the comments. Note that Titan's main camera didn't glow before. In some shots you can see the blue light, but it's just a reflection. Just like right here, it reflects the G-toilet laser and we see a yellow light. After Titan's appearance, we saw a glowing camera at the camera woman. Along with this, the lower plunger cameraman's camera was also replaced. There are two possibilities here. Either the camera woman is a new species that has the technology of a glowing improved camera scanner, or it is a new development of Skibidi scientists, which they have applied so far only to some agents. In any case, the application of new cameras in practice we have not seen yet. By the way, the color of the camera is black, although it was white before. Also remember how in episode 23 Titan shot from his finger. I think his retractable arm is actually a multifunctional device. In episode 50 we saw it turn into a magnet. Perhaps there is an energy source in the arm that can attract something as well as shoot energy clots like cannon. Unfortunately, we didn't see Titan firing from the hand in the new episodes. And now for the most important part of Titan, his core. I think this technology was first tested on the early version of Titan. It seems like a power source, which can be recharged. Also, the core was open, so it was Titan's weak spot. Now we see the defense in the form of 3 metal things. That's exactly the kind of defense that the Titan TV man had. Maybe the TV men were helping to improve the Titan cameraman. In general, these guys are very suspicious. I know you don't like it when I say they're traitors, but my instincts tell me they'll betray the cameraman someday. But that's not the point. It's possible that the cameraman scientists have mastered a technology that emits a powerful energy. We have already analyzed how Titan's cannon worked in the analysis of 51 episodes. I recommend you to watch this video. I think that the energy source in the cannon and in the core is similar. I also assume that the new weapon, which appeared not so long ago in the cameraman, is also related to this mysterious material. From Titan's changes, we can see the protection on his legs. Note that Titan's leg is close to the radioactive toilet as well as his cannon. However, the cannon is broken and the leg is fine. So the cameraman's clothes are flame and acid resistant. I noticed that after Titan shows up, he's always in the same place as the plungerman. In episode 51, we saw the plunger cameraman moving around in Titan's pocket or something. My theory is that Plungerman isn't just a good fighter. He's on the same team as Titan cameraman. No, I don't mean them fighting together against the Skibidi toilets. Titan is big and has a lot of weapons and technologies. If something breaks down in battle or a parasite tries to take over Titan, you need someone to fix it. Bringing a giant back to base every time is too irrational. The plunger cameraman protects Big Brother from the parasite and repairs breakdowns during combat. Maybe there's even a special compartment where he can sit like in an airplane while Titan moves around outside of battles. That's exactly where he was in episode 51. Put a like and subscribe to the channel if you admire the new Titan cameraman too. And that was me, Isa Toilet.